right, this is Phil Potempa. Welcome to another edition of Notoriety. Each week we bring you all of the latest entertainment news, everything you want to mark on the calendar, everything that's not to be missed happening in Northwest Indiana and Michigan and all of Chicagoland and beyond. I'm your host, and of course, we couldn't be here without all the wonderful advertising and the underwriting and support of our friends at People's Bank. And in the past, Legacy Foundation, Indian Arts Commission, and also right now the generous benefactors that are Andy and Sue Arnold and Theater at the Center, as you know, our home away from home. This broadcast for these last 9 years is the broadcasting over the airwaves equivalent of all the columns you'll read in the Post-Tribune and also ChicagoTribune.com under the umbrella of parent company Chicago Tribune Media. We're glad that you can join us along the way. Some of you through a traditional radio dial at 12:30 a.m. as we come to you from the Strachan Van Til studios here in Hammond. Others have the added advantage of streaming, so you found us on social media, or perhaps you maybe are making a point to see us streaming through our YouTube channel, or you just happen to see a bunch of strange characters and costumes.
Yeah, why should today be any different?
What is going on at WJOB? The host has been swallowed by a giant alligator. Well, finally. I'm really inside here, as you can see, inside the mouth of this alligator, and we're here in costume because of this week's world premiere of a brand new stage story, The Princess and the Frog Prince, A Hoppy Tale. It started performances on May 18th, so we want to mark that this broadcast is happening on Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. So you can make your ticket arrangements if you're hearing it as a rebroadcast. Performances throughout the week, 2 performances. We just got off stage just mere minutes ago. 9:15 and 11:15. A lot of schools and church groups or families are making their way there, which is great. Or there's a huge public performance that is 10 o'clock, and that is on Saturday morning as well as the last opportunity. What a great way to start off your Memorial Day. And as Phil Potempa, the newspaper columnist, I have my other hat as playwright for having penned this 55-minute fun adventure that's a new modern spin on the Grimm's fairy tale classic from the 1800s. Many of my familiar faces that has almost become the Phil Potempa Not Ready for Real Theater Ensemble players.
That is what it is.
Joining me here at the table, where we're going to start from our way to the left and work our way. The giant frog, and behind that makeup is really...
Dave Innes, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
From the WJOB airwaves on Saturdays with Gene, of course. Or sometimes he's been confused with Santa Claus. Or a giant... A year ago, we were on the stage together for the Modern Mother Goose Telling that I penned, and so glad to have you back, Dave, and behind the microphone.
Always an honor to be asked, and it was tough to get those giant legs in here.
You and I both have flippers. That's right, exactly.
We certainly do.
Don't be wary that in my guy's costume, I have on a vintage Phil Schmidt's bib, even though our frog leg guy's a couple steps away. We'll find out who created this bib.
Nice.
Just a couple ladies down, but first we meet Benny the Beagle in our story. So we've met Dave the Frog Prince. Here's Benny the Beagle, otherwise known as...
Tony Panek. Hey, everyone. Tony here playing Benny the Beagle. An homage of sorts to my dog that passed away about a year ago, Benny. So it's kind of about a year ago around this date.
Wow.
So, again, it's nice to get on stage and, kind of a tribute there, Phil.
Myself, besides host today for our radio show, as Nero. Nero is the swamp alligator, and he is the devoted servant and right-hand man and major domo to the mysterious swamp mistress fortune teller, the Lady Carrera, who you're going to meet just a couple more personalities down. But first, my tail is in the way, and we have Busha Mum, our Queen Busha Mum here, Carolyn Kruszynski. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how we would know you from parade days.
Good afternoon. I'm Busha Carolyn, and I came in from hanging clothes outside just to be here with Phil. Having a good time doing the play. I'm Queen Busha Mum in the play.
Exactly. And again, we should remember our home away from Theater at the Center. So this is at the Center for Visual and Performing Arts, 1040 Ridge Road in Munster. 1 week only, 11 performances, world premiere, so you can't say you've ever seen it before. And a grand finale there. Again, the woman behind the clever needle that created my recreation, vintage Phil Schmidt's bibber around my neck. Here we have with us Tina Stasny. Welcome, Tina.
Thanks for having me.
And who are you in this story?
I'm Madame Carrera, and I'm a mean witch.
We did recognize you without your magic crystal ball, right?
Sorry, I had to leave it at home.
She concocts potions and notions, and she's helpful sometimes and sometimes not so much. Meaning, if you get on her wrong side, you might be saying ribbit, ribbit, ribbit.
Yes,
ribbit, right?
yes,
Exactly.
without even knowing it.
But where our title character is yet to be introduced, she's got double duty because she's helping produce. You hear her every week, and it could be in the mornings, it could be during my show. Most of all, we're just so glad that she is the royalty underneath that tiara. We have with us Adrianna Alvarez.
Hello.
Playing the part of?
I am Princess Adrianna in the show.
You were made for this part. Now, I heard this morning, and again, we're capturing this on Tuesday, May the 19th. So I heard you talk to the other morning host, Verly and Michelle, and,
Yes.
and Jim was on for a while, and you were kind of hinting and saying that you were kind of made for this part, and you tell people I'm kind of, in a way, playing myself. Explain why that is.
So I'm the only girl in my family, so naturally they call me a little princess. Even at 22 years old, they still call me princess. So when I told them that I was going to be doing a show for theater, they got real excited because I've done theater before in high school. So they're so excited, like, oh my goodness, okay. And I was like, okay, guys, just wait. So I'm playing a princess. And they're like, oh my goodness, what is your princess name? I was like, playing myself. I am keeping my original name. So they are so excited to come see the show.
And again, 55 minutes, it moves very, very quickly. It's a $10 ticket. It's so important to bring the young folks, although there's a lot of kind of fun inside jokes that moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandmas, everybody will enjoy. It's family friendly. But to experience what's a live performance, what's live theater, can we all agree around this desk that it is a unique performance every time, sometimes in ways that you may not want it to be, but it's still part of a fun adventure?
Oh, yeah.
It is an adventure, and if you come on Monday at 9:15, the performance will be different than Friday at 11:15.
That's right, exactly. Although don't come next Monday, it's Memorial Day. So you, again, have only got until this Saturday, the 23rd, and it's going to close after those 11 performances. It's a very clever spin, and I don't just say because I wrote it, but meaning that there's a lot in there. So there's some local references where I keep mentioning Phil Schmitz, a nod to Phil Schmitz. There's other little things that are inserted jokes that folks get a kick out of. We had nearly almost 300 young folks there this morning, and they were so excited with their school, and they were cheering around. So first we're going to go around, and we're going to find out which is your favorite scene and why. We're going to start with Mrs. Carrero. Of all the scenes, and it doesn't have to be a scene that you're in, maybe it is, what's your favorite scene and why?
Does it have to be one I'm in? Or
No, it could be one
Okay.
you even like watching it unfold backstage.
So what I love the most, because I'm backstage, I'm not necessarily seeing this, is when they have the frog race and the frog prince comes in. And he's missed the frog race.
That's right. Yeah, that's fun. There's a lot of special sound effects. We all need to give a shout out to the wizard behind all those sound effects on that soundboard. We want to say 3 cheers. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's his name? Luke. Luke is right there off camera. Luke, thank you so much for all the sound effects. How many do you think there are, Luke? Give us a shout, would you say?
Well, no, there's about 40.
40.
40 to 50.
40 to 50 that you've got to be responsible for.
And he's got to have them just timed perfectly to make the show flow as we're trying to do.
He's got to.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Luke, come on over behind us so they can see us. So as producer,
Giveaway.
it's part of the storyline, right? That if you're not going to be able to, he walks right in front of the camera. Look at this.
He's a
This
pro,
is
isn't he?
live theater.
There was no other way
Not
around
TV
it.
studios.
There he is.
So tell me, it's true that if a sound effect is not in the proper rotation, that it either can throw a curveball at the cast.
Mm-hmm.
No, yes, certainly. Well, it does throw a curveball, but sometimes it makes it pretty interesting when we're doing the shows over and over again. And then when one line gets thrown in front of the other, it forces the cast to have to improvise and try to get them back in the correct order.
That's right. Fun fact, back when we took our very first publicity photos, and Dave will remember this, and Princess Adrianna will remember it, and the alligator was another variation of the publicity photos back in February. I was not wearing this. It was Luke.
Wow.
Luke was wearing this, so he's experienced what it's like to be in this giant
Same height.
alligator. Yeah, so
Ironically.
it worked out all right because we needed to have somebody on the side to help direct the photo shoot. All right, same question now. Don't go over, Luke, because we're going to ask you too. Benny, Tony Panek, what's your favorite scene and why?
Over Kara? Okay, well, we'll have to go next then, I guess. I like the frog race as well. I mean, it's high octane, high energy, and especially after today, it gets my Beagle Heart Pumping.
So if you haven't figured it out, there is a real frog race that happens with giant inflatable frogs with googly glowing eyes, and the audiences each participate in each of the rows, and it's a lot of fun. Hearts do start racing. Now over to our frog who misses the race. Dave, favorite scene and why?
So the thing about any of the shows that we have done for kids, because this is the children's theater, I guess is what it is, for the youngins, I think that everything that we've done, including this one, it's very tender. And I think the journey that Princess Adrianna is doing is taking through the whole show to try to find her prince, not knowing that I am him, cast as that has been turned into a frog, me not knowing that I'm him, and toward the end when Prince Rob is finally back, she and I have become so close without knowing that we knew each other the whole time. It's really tender.
All right, same question as going over to Busha. Favorite scene and why?
Well, I think I like when Dave the Frog and Princess Adrianna drink the lemonade concocted by Mistress Carrara.
Gosh.
And they have kind of a spell where Dave gets a little
looped,
woozy.
Like they went to Big Frank's or something like that.
Exactly, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and maybe have a little, And Adrianna does a little dance with the audience.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite part.
So now, Adrianna, we ask you that question, our princess. Favorite scene and why?
My favorite scene is when Priscilla the Python makes her exit and we start playing Holiday Road, because National Lampoon's Vacation, any of them, is a staple in my household. So when I heard that, I started laughing. I was like, this is great. This is the best music ever.
You are too young to remember that. It's so fun that you do. So another couple characters have been mentioned that are not represented here today. We could have brought our 20-foot-long purple Burmese python Priscilla. It's a lot to say.
It is.
And that is a huge puppet that has to be engineered by two people behind the scenes. And let me tell you, that is a heavy puppet. Or Mistress Carrara has to one scene wear her like a feather boa around her neck and manage all that weight as well. And somehow you stay balanced. I'm not quite sure how. I think my favorite scene, I would say, is the ones also with the giant python. It just brings me back to a day of puppet shows and early children's television where that was as high-tech as it got. Puppets, be it Mr. Rogers.
It's old school.
So we had a lot of local programming like Ray Rayner and the Magic Door, things out of Chicagoland that wasn't there a Cuddly Dudley? I think he was on Ray Rayner as well. Lots of puppets going on there as well. So
and Fraser Thomas with Macintosh
Thomas,
Mouse and
Garfield Goose.
Yes.
That's right. And a lot of puppets on Captain Kangaroo. The list goes on and on. And so now, Luke, favorite scene and why?
Well, it's my favorite would probably have to be after the entire cast is looking for the Fountain of Youth, and well, they finally find it, and Carolyn has to go through all of her pockets and her pocketbook, and there's some great audience participation in eventually finding the item that she's looking for and helping the rest of the cast make their wishes into the fountain.
That's right. Audiences, as the playwright, am I strict and say there is absolutely no ad-libbing, or are there sometimes new lines that you hear during a performance that even you've never heard before?
It could be different every time,
The integrity of the story remains the same. Yes, but you do let us embellish a little.
Because as many people would say, the script is written with these humans in mind to take some of their best or maybe worst qualities and fold them in for fun and then kind of mold and create the character from them. A little bit about the set, because I feel like the set is almost like the eighth character. When you first saw the set cast unveiled on Sunday, because it was pretty much all set before we did our dress rehearsal, was there any one thing that surprised you or popped that you thought, oh, so that's what that's going to look like? Or I didn't expect anything that elaborate. Or wait, look, is that what I think it is? Quickly, we want to go around the room. Adrian, anybody, you were like, wait, oh, so that's how that's going to work.
It's funny because I work at a gift shop, and you guys had came in to get a bunch of different things, and I was a little curious as to what these were used for throughout the time, because these were acquired throughout a certain span of time.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured, like, okay, yeah, the mushrooms can be used in the swamp and all that. Didn't know what the swamps were for, and I really didn't know what the lemonade was for. But seeing it on stage, I was like, wow,
Oh yeah, it all
The
fitted.
Princess and the Frog Prince, a Hoppy Tail, sponsored by Cracker Barrel.
That's right.
It was
Our
amazing,
friends
and
at
I
Cracker
love
Barrel.
seeing it all come together, and it just looks amazing. So if you guys want to know what the lemonade is for, you got to come check out the play.
That's it. And made with what kind of lemons, everybody?
High
High octane swamp lemons. Dave, anything on that set or scenery that you were like, where in the heck do they find this? Or,
Well, it is amazing because anything that you need for a set, you have somehow. And it really looks like a swamp. I think there's such subtleties, the greenery, the abandoned boat, like whatever happened to that guy? Did he die in quicksand? Because you never meet him. But I think the fortune teller, Mistress's realm, is so cool because lighting helps anything. Because you just show the audience what you want them to see. And lighting and fog, it really looks ominous. So you don't know what's going to happen. Is she good or is she bad?
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff on that tray. Let's take the question over to Tina, Mrs. Carrera. Any favorite property, weird scenery? You're like, how did they even get that in here? What is that?
Well, okay, so I know how you got it in there, but I, when I came in and saw the set, the whole set as a unit, I kind of want to go live in that swamp.
Oh, yeah.
There's a full-size boat. There's trees.
Yeah.
And I am pretty impressed with the python.
Yeah.
You know, like I thought you were gonna have a little snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a boa that you hang over your shoulders, and instead you got it's 20 feet.
It's 20 feet.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
and
ridiculous.
purple
Ridiculous.
Burmese. And the name of that snake is what, Busha?
Penelope, Patricia. No, it's Priscilla. Priscilla the python.
And she's gossipy, has a forked tongue. What's a favorite prop or scenery piece that you're like, oh, that's what that's going to be?
Like Tina, just the whole setup when you walk into the theater and see how everything's put together, from the fountain over to Mistress Carrara's place. It just all works.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're in a swamp.
And we kind of are like the children that entered Wonka Land. When we see the set, we are like the kids in the audience.
Right.
Did everybody, well, Luke, you helped create much of that set and the
He
props
knows what's
and
down there
gather it?
already.
Yeah.
Any certain thing that you're like, well, this is interesting.
Certainly, in Mistress Carrara's area, there is her magic crystal ball
Mm-hmm.
that is right up, and when you touch it, it's an old school. How would you describe that?
Well, it's a plasma ball from the
Yes, the
80s.
plasma.
From Spencer's, I
The
think.
kind of thing you'd buy at Spencer's. Anybody knows what that even is? It's a globe and has electric bolts, but they're very hard to get. I had one that didn't work anymore. I had to find one that worked, and that's cool. Along with it, we should mention our lighting. Laquita Williams does lighting. You get the right lighting moment, and you get the swamp mist and the lights, and you get that crystal ball going. It does. It takes you to another place. It really transports you.
It's all atmosphere. It really works.
Yeah, I agree, and that is a high compliment when people will say they come in and they kind of like they're now. We had a little bit more swamp fog than I had anticipated today, but that's right. And not to give away too much real, but there's a moment where there's some bubbles that are percolating as well. So a little something for everybody, and really it is fun, and it is for all ages, and the characters again. I think they all work well, so because they all kind of have their own chemistry. They each kind of get their own moment, which is always very important in any kind of a script. Is there anything that was maybe? And again, we have to admit, we don't get our scripts till the very, very last minute. So a week or days before, these talented folks are first trying to get their lines and their blocking, and it comes together. Would any of you say that those 40 special effects or even the musical interludes, does that help set a tone or help get you in character or get you motivated on that stage?
I would say that it's all of that, which is all the technical stuff, where we're the performers. All of that technical stuff, for me, and I'm sure all of you agree, it's the conduit that keeps things together and gives us time to get from point A to point B, to get into our character and be what you wrote.
Yeah.
And that all helps.
It's very Three Stooges like, right? With the sound of the boinking
Slightly.
and the running and
the dog barking.
yeah. So,
Yes.
And the overflowing toilet.
cartoon.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Overflowing toilet.
in a castle.
It takes people back in time, I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, and that's what I should mention, that a big part of this, and you'll read some of this in my column on Thursday, when I'm writing it, I'm making it, again, I mentioned a homage to those children's shows that I grew up with, but also a step further, Saturday morning cartoons, which don't exist anymore, that was a whole nother realm, that every Saturday you had that block of time as a kid where you got to see all these, characters come to life. And I mentioned even a little bit before my time, I'm born in 1970, but I have a lot of memories of Sigmund Freud's strange world of puppets, be it H.R. Puffin stuff, Lidsville. He had one about Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, Land of the Lost with dinosaurs. All of these have always, been an inspiration. And then lastly, I always say there's a dash of Disney in there everywhere. We know, of course, Disney did their own version, I think, in the 1990s of the Princess and the Frog, but we've got a completely different, variation. But Walt Disney quotes one that sticks with me always, and I hope it'll stick with you, and of course with all of our cast members. Walt Disney famously said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." And having the the honor and privilege of writing a kid's play and then seeing your imagination characters brought to life, it's a very special honor. And then put it in an auditorium with a packed audience of young people. Wasn't there just an energy there today with that these were schools from Lowell, I think, that were there. They were so into it, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, all the crowds are great, but when they're bigger like that, I mean, they really go crazy.
Yeah, we feed off them, and they feed off us.
Yeah.
Right.
And as we just kind of wrap up here, our princess, I'm curious, any moments at all that if you were to rethink or think, well, maybe I would have done this way. I mean, I threw you a curveball. You probably had no idea. You said you'd experienced as a cheerleader that I would write a dream sequence that had a dance interlude to it. Did that throw you a curveball or nah?
Not really. I was kind of ready for anything. I think the one thing that kind of threw me a curveball where I was like, okay, how are we gonna do this and kind of fill the space, because one thing with children's theater, it is very energetic. You cannot stand still.
Yes.
So I think the one challenging thing for me is finding different ways to not stand still.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of the if anything, if any curveball comes around, it is that, because I've never done children's theater like this, in the sense where it's, because I'm so used to like catering towards like adults and like teenagers and all that. So for children, you can't stand still, because the moment you stand still, they're like, well, I gotta go look over here.
Yeah.
Where's the entertainment? So it's like they gotta continuously be stimulated. So I think that was the only thing. But overall, it's just so much fun to do this show, and I implore people to come see it. It is a very good time.
And we should do that little commercial break to let folks know. Again, you can call 219-836-3255 is the box office. Go online to theater. That's theater with the R-E spelling. Theater@thecenter.com. Pick your tickets, and you can also be a part of any of these show performances 2 each day. We're coming to you again Tuesday on May 19th, 2026. Every day, 9:15, 11:15, and then a big public performance that's going to be on Saturday at 10 o'clock. For our final couple minutes here, I'm going to behead myself. Let myself have a little more breathing room here.
Wow.
I'm sure that I look like I just came out of the sauna here, and I'll remove these flippers as well.
These lights in the studio.
There we go. A little air.
Better than the stage
I figure if Benny was able to do that, then I should be able to also
Son of a gun.
be head here for a moment. We have to always make sure, though, we definitely stay in character, don't we?
Oh, absolutely.
Until that last little guy or little person leaves that, we never want them to see a decapitated crocodile or a half-dressed busha or the mistress.
You got to come to Pierogi Fest to see that.
That's right. Well, not have dress.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Exactly. All right, so very good. Anything else in our wrapping up? And then we want to remind everybody to come be a part of what is the fun. Our final bit of business is, and we celebrate it on stage, today happens to be not so much Benny the Beagle's birthday, but it's Tony Panek's birthday today.
Yeah, and I want to thank everybody at this table, behind the table, producer's table.
Even
we had
those under the table.
No, we're not saying. We'll stay away from that. But we had a good celebration at the theater. The kids sang happy birthday, which I appreciate. Family was there, so it was a good time. Had some cake afterwards. So thank you all for making it special today.
Sure. And Phil, I would just like to say, if anyone's never been to theater at the center in Munster, it's Theater in the Round, which is very cleverly created. There's no bad seat in there. And knowing that, us as the performers are talking to all sides. We're talking to each one of you.
Yes.
So when you come out and see us, we're doing that for you.
Absolutely. So as we close out, Can we do a quick round of happy birthday to round out our show?
Happy
Our princess is
birthday.
going to lead us.
Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tony. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you all. 28 years old. Yes.
No.
He's lying.
No, forget
That's
that.
another play. That's Pinocchio if you were lying about your age. All right, and thank you so much for our producer for letting us do this special broadcast. Usually my time slot would be earlier, so we were on stage at that moment. Thank you to all of you, our listeners and our viewers, and we hope that, again, you're catching this broadcast before the 23rd of May. Gives you a chance to come out and see a world premiere, brand new script that I wrote, The Princess and the Frog Prince, A Hoppy Tale. It's at the Center for Visual and Performing Arts, Munster, Indiana, 1040 Ridge Road. Call the box office 219-836-3255 or visit us online at theater with the R-E at the center.com to get your tickets. We will see you again next week. Please have a safe and wonderful Memorial Day weekend if we don't cross paths. And we hope you enjoy the rest of wherever your path might take you, be it morning, afternoon, or evening.
Everybody, my name is Joe Cimino, and welcome back to another WJOB Sports Update. Last night's featured game on the Heartland Sportsnet was an absolute slugfest in baseball, as Andrean and Hanover went back and forth in an 11-8 victory for the Niners. Tonight's featured game has a similar face as the Lady Niners travel to Dyer to face the ladies of Ileana Christian.